Hi and welcome to somewhat of a different video. Trigger warning, I want to talk about trauma. It's been something I've been considering for a longer time. But I've been holding myself back. My doubts have been holding myself back. I also felt like I'd be embarrassing myself talking about my trauma. I felt like maybe it's trauma dumping. I felt like, what's the point? No one's gonna watch it anyways, and I haven't figured it out yet. So why even talk about it if I can't get a solution? On the other side, why I'm recording this now on a beautiful forest walk at 8 a.m. is because I feel so much shame around having had trauma, being traumatized. And it's so stigmatized, and so whenever I talk to people, get to know new people, and I tell them what happened to me, they always say, but you're not crazy, are you? Or, yeah, I figured because of your tattoos, or yeah, you... Okay, I thought I saw someone. Oh, jump scare. Yeah, you look like someone that has trauma or something. So, it's super stigmatized still, and I want to feel normal, and I want you to feel normal, and I want you to not feel shame because of things that happen to you. So here we go. This is my story, and this is why I think trauma is actually kind of a gift. Hardships are actually kind of a gift. And I don't want to offend anyone or tell you that your trauma isn't bad or doesn't feel bad. But it helps you shift the idea of trauma a lot, and it helps me be grateful for what I have, what I've been through, and my hardships. So my mom went from Poland to Germany to work here. And on the way she met my dad, and her German wasn't really good. So she fell in love with my dad because she thought he was a smart man. And, when you don't really know a language that well, and you generally are in a new space, you kind of bond quickly to people. And my mom has also had some trauma concerning her parents. Her mom was ultra toxic and tried to abort my mom after she was already born, and her dad was absent. So, I don't blame her for the way she is, but of course it's influenced me. So my parents made my brother, and then they had me, and my mom was already considering divorce before I came to this world, but she kind of thought maybe another child will fix this. It didn't. And my dad was really nice to me, but he was horrible to my brother. And we lived with my dad's mom, so my grandmother, and she loved my dad and was jealous of my mom. And because my mom was from Poland, there was an expectation that my mom does all the housework, goes to work, looks after the children, cooks for the family. And if she couldn't do all that because she was a waitress and had like 10-hour shifts, she'd be verbally, So that was that. Our parents also started verbally and physically being not so nice to us. And I've had undiagnosed ADHD, so I kept forgetting like my backpack. Mind you, I was 6. And I don't know, my lunch. I was also very, clumsy, so I always dropped things, and I've been punished for that. So I have been punished for things that weren't even my fault and that weren't even meant in a bad way. So my parents divorced when I was 8, And I've also started gaining weight because our parents kind of rewarded us for being heavier and put us on a scale, and we're like, yay, you're gaining, I'm so proud of you. And that, of course, reinforced not so nice habits. So I became thick, and the people in school started bullying me, and it was really, 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 really bad and traumatizing. Also, when I was 8 at that time, I started considering, and I also sent a goodbye letter to my dad and my mum and stuff. It wasn't nice. And when I fell asleep crying because of, school and stuff, I was hit and told to be quiet. So support wasn't there at all. And it kind of just felt like the whole world tried to put me down, and I didn't even understand why. And I also didn't understand the world. I also went to teachers and told them about the bullying, being hit at home and stuff. But the bullying didn't change, didn't get better. And my parents punished me for telling the teachers that they punished me. So that was my primary school life. When I changed schools, so we only have primary in high school, and high school is from year 5 to year 12. I thought, okay, I have to change something, because I don't want to be the loser again. I don't want to be the bullied one. I'm gonna become the bully. I'm gonna act like the people that bullied me and hope for the best. And that worked out for like 3 years till like year 8. And then I got in a really bad mind space. Became emo, got bullied for that, and then the bullying continued. People also wished me to commit, and told me that, I told my friends that, for being different. And I still don't know the real reason. I was also the talk of town, and people made up stories about me, and it was just really bad. Also at that time, like from year 6, my mom got a new boyfriend, and he was horrible. They fought like every day. We never felt safe, and I always felt like today is the last day for us. He threatened us. He threatened to commit. He acted when my mom finally broke up with him after like 3 years, after we told her, please get that man out of our lives. She finally then decided to break up with him, and then we still had to live with him, and he started like bribing us, threatening us. When my mom came home, he acted like he would pass out all the time, and then we got rid of him. He left us with a lot of debt, and we've always had some money struggles, but that really doubled down on the bullying, because I wasn't only the odd one out, but I was the broke one. I was the one that always wore the same shoes, and that really made everything worse. Then after the breakup, my mom fell in love with my now stepdad, and he didn't want her, but she wanted him. So not only did I have to deal with school, family, trauma, depression, you name it, I had it. I also had to, and this is kind of tough, also a person's coming, so I'll come back to you. So before I continue, look at this view. So nice. So my mom also told me she wanted to commit, so not only did I have to be there for myself and my brother, but also my mom. And yeah, it was really bad, and it was like 2 years of that. And when I turned 16, I think, they finally got together and we moved together. And my stepdad had, like, his ex-wife and also the mother of his sons was really, really bad and cheated, and so he didn't like women anymore, and he generalized every woman except my mom. So whenever I did something bad, you know, it wasn't like, okay, yeah, I get why. It was instantly about me as a person, and that I'm so mean and bad and evil and manipulative. And whenever I did something bad, he doubled down on that, and when I did something good, then that was just a part of my plan and manipulation. And the foundation of that belief of his was that with 13 I faked a migraine so I didn't have to go to school, so I'm not bullied and I don't have to face my bullies every day. But for him, that was the proof that I'm an evil mastermind, and that just continued. So, you know, when you're being told you're bad and evil and all that, at some point you question yourself, and I really internalized that belief. And I need to check if there's people there, because I'm not finna trauma dump to some strangers in real life, but on the internet. I can't tell, but so I'm just gonna continue. So school also didn't go too well because I was bullied. I also didn't stay at home because my parents were there, and I just felt locked. I just felt like I'm in a cage and I can't escape, and wherever I go I'm hated and disliked. And also whenever I met new people from my hometown, they instantly heard things about me already, so no one wanted to get to know me, be friends with me, except my cool friends that I still have. And it was just really hard, and I felt like I can't approach people anymore because everyone knows that I'm such a bad person, and that really gave me avoidant and antisocial tendencies that I still have to this day. Also, my father wasn't really a part of my life anymore since the divorce, but that really finalized when 4 years, almost 5 years ago, I went to him for child support and he said no. So I had to go to a lawyer, and then he said I'm dead to him. Okay, it's not like you were in my life before, but yeah. That's that. I've been kicked out of home. Then my relationship to my parents was better. Then I was in Krakow with my mom and my brother, and that just doubled down on, you know, how complex my parents are. Because my mom, we had a conflict, not really conflict. We had to get a train and we went into the wrong one, and when we got out of the wrong one, she kept telling me that we were in the wrong one, and I just, you know, was like, I get it. And then she didn't want to come on the trip anymore, so I let her go. And for her, it's my fault that she went because I should have stopped her. And, you know, I'm always at fault and, you know, responsible for her emotions, for her thoughts, for her feelings, and for her actions. And I no longer want that in my life. I don't want to be the bad guy. So I've distanced myself. Good thing though. And now we're coming to the, I hope you can still hear me. It's pretty windy on this side of the hill. So I can let go so quickly and so easily. Like, I don't know, I can let go because holding on doesn't change the fact that they'll go eventually. Fighting is just wasted energy, and trying to be understood is just not worth the effort. Like, instead of putting effort into trying to be understood from people that don't want to understand you and will not understand you, You can put effort into finding people that like you the way that you are. And I can let go so easily now. Like, if people tell me, I don't want to be in your life, maybe I'll be sad for like a day or two. But acceptance and letting go and being in control of my, I really hope you can hear me, being in control of my, abandonment issues, or the way that I deal and see abandonment, is really, really different. Like, I'm at peace, and I know when I haven't done anything wrong in my eyes, then I can let go, and it's their loss. And if I have done something wrong, I can learn from it, and I understand why they want to go, and I won't force them to be with someone that they don't like. And it's been a process. I've been in really, really toxic relationships where I was really anxiously attached, and I just could not let go. But those taught me that, you'll fight, but you're just prolonging the end that's going to come anyways. And if people want to stay, that's nice. But if they don't, I won't stop them, because it's so much energy and emotions, uncomfortable emotions, that I choose not to feel. Yeah, it's sad, and yeah, you have memories, but they won't go away. They will not go away. So, letting bygones be bygones. On the other side, I find it really motivating when I hear where others came from, how they overcame trauma, how they made themselves happy or something. Because not everyone has challenge, and challenge helps to improve, In the gym, you don't just lift weights and such light weights that you don't feel anything, because you won't grow. You challenge yourself, because challenge leads to growth. And you can try and put yourself into challenging situations, but you will never have a mom like mine, or dad like mine, or a story like mine. So you will not ever have or experience the growth that I've had, And same goes with your trauma. No one will ever learn your lessons. And it's really hard to put yourself into hard situations and then go through them, like intentionally challenging yourself. And so sorry, people just keep coming. But yeah, I do feel bad. Yes, I have anxiety, depression, PTSD, ADHD, whatever. But the compassion that I can bring to my friends and people that struggle, because I can empathize, because yes, you can maybe imagine how it feels, but you can never really understand it unless you feel it and the consequences. And so I still struggle mentally every day. Some days are really hard, because you internalize everything and you can't just let go of it like that. But on the other side, winning a race when you've started last is really impressive. And so even you do the normal thing, like get a job, go to uni and get a degree or something, it's so much more impressive because of where you came from, and you not letting your circumstances or your starting point influence you. You're going against the standard, and that's so cool, and that is so impressive, and that makes you strong. And you always have something to work on. You always can learn a lot about yourself, and your mind is so much more complex when you've gone through struggle, because there's one problem, and then you see, okay, that's just a symptom, that might be the root, and then you're like, no, that's also a symptom. And you can take a lot of time to really figure yourself out and get to know you. And trauma also builds your personality, even if it's a bit complex, and even though you're maybe not emotionally stable yet, but that doesn't mean you won't ever be. It's about being there for you and loving yourself and getting clear on what you want, and always just thinking like, is this good for me, or is this bad for me, and what's a better alternative? For example, I didn't want to make this video. I didn't want to go on a walk. I wanted to spend my time alone at home and do nothing. But the thing is, I know I'm gonna feel bad when I'm at home thinking, oh my god, I want to record a video. I should go to the forest because I just want to have a nice walk in the forest, and then I still don't. Because then I feel like a loser, like I'm standing in my way, like my life has and is nothing, and I can't even go on a single walk. I'm so incapable of everything. I can't do things for myself, and that really internalizes, and that really strikes your self-worth and self-love and life, and you know, it's the everyday things you do and following the good impulses. Because I know if I were at home right now, I'd feel so bad. I'd go crazy, spiral, binge, whatever. But now I feel good. I feel thankful for myself. I feel really nice, and I don't know, I feel accomplished, even though it's just a walk, even though it's just going outside. But I have such strong impulses to avoid the outside and people and being, you know, seen. But it's about not following the impulses, because it's a pattern, and if I keep going after the pattern, then it's just gonna be more and more and more, you know, it builds roots, and you grow those roots thicker whenever you follow the bad impulses and habits. So you really need to look at yourself, and even if you don't love yourself, if you feel miserable, you don't want to feel miserable. You don't. Like, even if you think you deserve it, you still don't want to sit in that uncomfortable state. So if you can't do it out of love, do it out of uncomfortability, and don't think about it too much. Don't plan it, don't postpone it, just do it now. Because I was like, yeah, I can go on a walk tomorrow too. That's what I did yesterday, and you feel bad. The other and last important thing I want to talk about is self-compassion and understanding yourself, because not everyone has gone through trauma. Not everyone has had a horrible life, and people don't understand you. People don't understand why you are the way you are, or that you have a harder time regulating emotions, letting go, keeping track, chasing your goals, believing in yourself that you can, and so on. So you really are being met with little to no compassion and little to no understanding. So it's really important for you to give that to yourself, because it's unfair to be held to the standards of people that don't have the mental load that you have, that don't have the struggle that you have. So you always need to keep in mind, most of them don't understand you, and that's fine, but you do. You are you can understand yourself, and even if you don't, even if you're like, I don't know why I do this or think about this, you know, just be like, okay, I'll try to change. Well, I'm there for me. If I don't like it personally, I can change it. I'll figure it out. And, you know, understand that it's not your fault. I mean, it's your responsibility to change it if you can, but it's not your fault that you are the way you are. And that's just really important for you to give that to yourself, because in 99% of the times you won't get it from someone else. Maybe like a little bit, maybe a piece. But for me personally, when people tell me, oh no, it's okay, you have ADHD, it just feels like enabling, and in my head, internally, I instantly dismiss it. So, you know, give yourself some understanding and compassion, and really ask yourself, what do I need right now? Because for a very, very, very long time, I've pushed my needs, my wants and everything down because I thought I don't deserve it, or no, I can take this one for the team, or they won't like me if I tell them that I want me time or whatever. But you know, you're responsible for your happiness and they're responsible for their happiness, and do what you want without hurting other people. And saying no isn't hurting them. Being mean is hurting them. And having your boundaries, you know, giving is under your rules. And you know, you will find peace eventually. I'm not there yet, but I feel much more at peace than weeks ago, months ago. It's always a process, and it feels like it's never ending, and maybe it is, but you know, you're going forward, and that's good. And I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for watching this video. I hoped it helped, and if it didn't, I hope it helped you not feel shame about your trauma, maybe understand yourself a bit better. Yeah, so I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my walk. Goodbye.